You're welcome back. This is News File, your most authoritative news analysis show, and it's brought to you by a candid sponsorship of Lipton Tea, that is inspiration flowing from nature. Errata Motors, that's the best vehicles at the best prices. If you're looking for new or slightly used cars, just go to Errata Motors at Lagos Avenue opposite Body Talk near the GT Bank, East Legon, or call them 0244 445 268 or 0277 486 800, and they will attend to you. It's just a phone call away. And it's also brought to you by Star Assurance, the endless appreciation for their superior insurance packages by their dear customers, and Star Assurance, the prestigious CIMG General Insurance Company of the year 2012, and it has once again put them above every Ghanaian or general insurance company in Ghana in the 2012 Ghana Club 100 rankings. This is to you, their dear customers. You made it happen, and that is why they are dedicating themselves to continue to offer you cutting-edge insurance policies that give you peace of mind and power to achieve your set goals. They work to protect your properties and businesses when the expected and unexpected happens. They have branches all over the country, and they are focused on building a partnership that lasts a lifetime. So talk to Star Assurance on 0302 240 632 or visit them at starassurance.com. Star Assurance, that is your solid partner. MTN, everywhere you go. Now we say welcome to the new world. Now we move on to discuss Nana Akufo-Addo. He's back in the country. He's got a known secret, but it's a revelation that will be made on the 20th of this month. And you may have witnessed his triumphant entry to Osei-Krom. What was that all about? I'm asking a question. What was that all about? And is Otumfuo his landlord or what? And did you check the crowd? Did you check the crowd that, you know, greeted him in Kumasi? I doubt the president might not get that crowd at this point in time of Dumso, especially in Kumasi. And question is, why go to the Otumfuo, and what is it all about? Again, the question is he, why say he's going to tell us what God has revealed to him on the 20th, when we already know the obvious, that he's going to go for it? And will he make success without a free SHS policy? Before we look at that, the NPP, a few things have happened in the party now. Paul Afoko has been cleared of all the allegations that were made against him. Now he can now contest as one of the candidates for the chairmanship. There were also allegations that were leveled against Jacob Echebelamte. We have picked information that he has also been cleared of all of those allegations, so he's now also good to go. I don't know. What do you know?
Well, I know part, and you are telling me.
Yes, I've been telling you off air what we know, that he's been cleared. The report is ready.
Well, I think really, first of all, on the Paul Afoko matter, I think the committee has come out to say that, first of all, I think allegation was made without any prima facie evidence attached to it, and they did what they could. They haven't received any information to support the allegation or to contradict the allegation, and in the absence of that, the person is cleared.
Is it not rather the case that they have rather received a dossier from the UK that clears him, that he's not been involved in any such bad matter?
I can go by what the committee said.
Right.
What we do know is that it was a bare allegation. I mean, no supporting evidence was attached to it.
Right.
So they had to somehow search for evidence. They haven't received anything.
That was only for briefly. Tell me about Jake.
The Jake matter, you telling me, and I think if it's clear, to me, it's in the right direction, because I think, you know, a lot of allegations are thrown about. I saw at a very close range what happened in the 2012 elections. More logistics were given out across the party than in any other election. in terms of there were more motorbikes than 2008 when the party was supposed to be in office. There were more bicycles, more cars. Every constituency had pickups, or more money to parliamentary candidates. You know, so when you see this happening, and this Jake's administration, they never came to office and there was money there. All these things had to be created within the period that they were in office. So when you see the effort that went into that election, and then people will reduce all that to some allegations. Of course, there are always issues with elections, but I think Jake's administration shouldn't be reduced to the fact that people think that he had somehow. So if it's been cleared, I think it's the right way. I think it deserves more than being
Hold on
reduced
briefly.
to
Let me take a minute from Kokubako on this one, because the last time the issue came up and we mentioned Kennedy Japan, who took the matter to the committee to investigate, and also even threatened that if Jake were allowed to stand, he was going to personally, you know, vote, is it how much, $20 million to campaign against him or whatever, do anything, whatever it is. And you said we should forget about that. You didn't even want to comment about that. Hearing that Jake has been cleared, Afoko has been cleared,
let me give
good for them.
One first. You remember day one, I expressed some disbelief in the allegation, and also, but in principle supported the need for an inquiry, whatever the nature of the allegation, because I thought that was what the party's own constitution demanded. I was unhappy with Fuku's own public reactions and utterances, and I made that very clear. But you see, there's something that I have found out. I'm just going to proceed in a very cautious manner. I was able to intercept a copy of the petition or complaint or whatever it was. Very sketchy. And when I finished reading it, I told one or two friends that I know in the party that, look, assuming without admitting that even if Akufo had been busted and convicted, I was wondering if 10 years hadn't lapsed. And so really, what was the party wasting its time on all those? I made all those points.
Right.
And this thing wasn't even talking of conviction, really, it's incarceration. There's a distinction between incarceration and conviction. So I thought there was something wrong. But what is now worrying me, and if I'm wrong, may everybody forgive me, I am not sure that Interpol, Accra, that's Ghana, has not communicated something to the party.
Oh, wow.
I am not sure. I intercepted this document. You see, and it's here. Restricted, you see, of course, but this is an interception. From Interpol Manchester to Interpol Accra, with all the details here. Then it says, dear colleagues, please see below for a response to your request dated 17 February 2014. Please be informed that we have searched our records, name and date of birth only, for the above named subject and returned a negative result.
Oh.
The name is Paul Awentami Afoko, born 31st August 1954. I'm sure we are talking of the same person. If you require anything further, please do not hesitate to contact us. Many thanks and kind regards. Interpol Manchester, National Crime Agency. Telephone numbers, everything there. I am aware that the party wrote to Interpol Accra to do the search. Right. Am I right?
Absolutely.
This is a response from Interpol Manchester to Interpol Accra. Is it being suggested that Interpol Accra has not forwarded this correspondence to the party? I have my doubts. I think this has reached the party. So you see, I have a problem.
If this has reached the party, then they've been very unfair.
I have a problem.
If that's the case.
Well, that's why I'm proceeding cautious. I have a problem with the communication that was put out there relative to the clearance without reference to this document.
Which is important.
Yes, so I think the party must come again. Okay. If I'm wrong, I will apologize.
And then briefly again, Jake, please, shall we move on so that we come to deal with
from day one, you know, I had a problem. Perhaps it was a 20 million thing that was introduced that got my goat. Right. But fortunately, if the committee has investigated the issue of monies that he received and didn't deal with them well, or motorbikes and things, it's cleared, it's cleared. It's good that when allegations are made, those who make the allegations are given the opportunity to substantiate. And if they are unable to do so, it's good. In fact, it's in the larger interest of the individuals who were accused, as well as the party, that is done fairly and justly. Yeah.
Ebi, do you have a comment to share?
Yeah, on Nafoko, from day one, I knew that it was an attempt, a grand scheme to derail his campaign processes. And he was the only candidate in terms of the chairmanship who was campaigning with an albatross around his neck. Which was that he has not been cleared. So I think that with the clearing now, it set the stage, but at least the damage has been caused a little bit. But I'm sure
he may have gained.
If you are a front runner, you will continue to be a front runner. It may backfire, and I'm sure it will backfire. Yes. The other thing has to do with
the Jake one. Maybe we should be looking up to, what's the name, Kanye Japan, raising his $20 million and starting his new thing against Jake.
Yes, I think that what he indicated, where I understood him to be saying that if Jake wins the elections, he would form an entirely new party. I think that he has not been able to prove his case. I saw some motorbikes being parked and they were on the front pages of newspapers. So if Jake has been cleared too, that's good. Let's go for the election. But I disagree with Gabi when he said that this executive, the current executive, are those who have come in with nothing and they single-handedly mobilize resources. I think that that's what you said. You said that the import of it.
Okay.
I think that it is not true. They would have come to meet some money, and if they have not been able to deliver the party to get the victory, I think that they should give way to new people.
I see.
But something, let me just make a comment. I'm very, very disturbed about this communication from Kweku. And I think the party should come out clear, because, you know, the information out there now is as if, well, we hit a blank.
Yes.
So we are letting him go through.
Yeah.
Maybe this document has not reached them.
It hasn't reached them. No, but I think it's for the integrity of the committee. And also for our focus, because look, at the end of the day, he could be your chairman, and you could have this hanging out there. So it's important that they come out clearly and say the information that's like Kweku said, maybe they haven't received it. But if they have, they should come out and be categorical that they did not.
Well, the information is already out, so it may not hang out there anymore. If anybody wants to use it, then I don't know for what purposes that they would use it, apart from mischievous propaganda.
And my point to you, Amaliba, please, was that as far as I know, more logistics went out there for campaigning than in any other election.
Thank you.
It doesn't mean that certain things didn't go wrong. That point is made. So you cannot blame whatever happened
to side to this that I want you to address. Now, there are people who, for the purposes of the election, and we know that in this country, politics, there's a lot of mudslinging. Should they be allowed to go scot-free after they make the vacant allegations? They are unable to substantiate them. They are not proving to be true, even at the very first level of what you call prima facie. And we investigate, and in the end we say, okay, they should go. In a court of law, you would have been slapped with some, cost.
But do we know the person who brought it?
You see, I think the parties themselves will have to set a certain standard.
The name is there
for receiving
There's a David Jesse.
Okay.
So that, I mean, if you are making an allegation
of Accra and UK, a bit not to no further better particulars.
So it wasn't garbage.
Okay. Go on.
So when you're making an allegation, it should not just be a statement that Godwin has done X or has failed to do Y. I mean, there must be reasonable facts, which on the face, if nothing is, brought in to contradict.
Objective proof.
Exactly. Will really suggest that the act has been committed. So that even at the administrative level, you should be able to look at it and say that, look, we are not entertaining this.
Right.
This could be a way of discouraging such, frivolous, so to speak, allegations. But you see, in the Afoko case, as Gabi has said, and then maybe others too have said, already there was that perception that, a group within the party at the very highest level, didn't want him to contest. Now, if there is information
The same way with Jake. That's why there was a complaint about him. So
if there is information that the allegations are false, and then you don't come out and base your decision on that information, then it goes further to reinforce that particular perception. And as Mr. Baku has said, or Gabi, what if he wins and becomes the chairman of the party, and the opponents then pick it up and start running away with it? You now will have your back pushed to the wall and you start fighting back. Right. So the parties, I mean, across board, will do themselves good if they set standards very high for receiving allegations against their members. Right.
Gabi, Addo is in.
Yeah.
After almost a year of being in London and seeking the face of God. 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now he's back. And don't we know that he will contest?
Well, I think we will find out on Thursday. Yes, I'm not too sure whether you saw the face of God and God then told you he's contesting. I mean, I can't claim to have seen. But he is coming out on Thursday, and there are indications that he will respond to not just what he wants, but also what perhaps the sentiment. I think he's consulting widely, and I believe widely means not just the party. You have to go beyond the party, and I'm sure he will take a decision in the interest of the party and in the interest of the nation.
He's literally being forced to take it again.
I really don't. Look,
your members across the length and breadth of this country have been visiting him, calling upon him in Kumasi. When he got there, the placards read, "No Nanado, no 2016."
Well, it's all part of it, if you like. But I think, to me, the most important thing is that, first of all, you can't want it and go for it if people don't want you. Okay? And then you feel that you have the strength, you have the energy, regardless of all the disappointment, and you've done it for 40 years. So I'm sure he feels ready to go. That's if he's going to say he's going to go. But fortunately for us, you have a political party that has the biggest electoral college in Africa, about 120,000 people. And if you can have a sampling of 120,000 out of maybe 13, 14 million voters saying that this is the man we want, or that is the woman we want, or whatever, it is an indication of, if you like, your own popularity. I hear some people saying that, well, he may be popular in the party, but not in the nation. If you think you are more popular than him outside the party, then run as an independent candidate and see whether you can win. You know, so clearly, because of course you go on the ticket of a party. You know, so I think really let's hear what he has to say
on Thursday.
Yeah, but then you mentioned
it may be trivial, but did his plane touch down on the Kumasi airport?
Touchdown?
No, I don't. Did he? Is that the place he arrived from London?
Oh no, he came to Accra, and you know, part of the consultation. There's a lot of Ashanti region is huge. It's really, if you like, the heartbeat of the party. There's absolutely no two ways about it. There are a lot of party elders there. There are party elders elsewhere, and the rest of it. And there are certain. I know it's been quiet consultation, but of course you are coming to Kumasi as part of a consultation. The Ashanti Regional Party decides to make it a big show because Nana didn't actually announce that he was coming to Ashanti region, and it happens this way. And I think really
so the headline
is a sign. It's a sign of perhaps the love.
He sought Lotumfo's blessing. It's misleading.
I think it's misleading. What I've noticed about him, wherever he goes. You know, first of all, he has a relationship with the Ashanti Hene. Secondly, it is not like coming to Eastern region where you may find it, or going to certain regions you may find it difficult which traditional ruler to go to. But Ashanti, we all know, you have Ashanti Hene. You know, and then also it's important that there have been some sort of, if you like, negative things been said, that the party even had to come out after the election petition. So I think it was important he made that step to show that, hey, you know, we are still together, and that sort of thing. So I think really it was an important PR work as well, apart from the fact that they have a personal relation, apart from the fact that Asante Man and Asante Hen are one, and if you go there, show the maximum respect. So I think really it's all in good.
Right. Great. Maybe there are those who say, what? You are choosing him ahead of your election. You're supposed to have an election to determine who becomes your flag bearer. But already it looks like anybody should be afraid to contest him, because obviously he would be standing for the flag bearership again.
Let me remind you of Professor Mills before he speaks.
We know what that it is not true, absolutely, that they are choosing him before he runs. He wants it. They are also choosing him. I disagree with those who say that he's going to consult people, and he's going to consult Asante Hen, and he's consulting people to see whether he should go.
He did not consult Asante Hen. He went to. I don't think he came out with that.
I disagree with people who say that. I'm not saying I disagree with you.
Right.
You see, before you even do those consultations, you must have want the thing. If you don't want something, you won't even get up from your room and walk out to consult anybody. So the two coincide. Yes, I have seen people line up in his house asking him to stand. I've seen that. I've also seen him also wanting it. So you see, I will be shocked to my bone marrow if next week Nana announces that he's not going to partake in this exercise. Indeed, his own spokesperson, and he's the only spokesperson, he's the only one who can speak for Nana. He alluded to that. Mustafa Hamid.
Absolutely.
Yes. Indicated that 99% of the chance is that Nana Akufo-Addo would announce that he's going to stand. So there's nothing fishy, there's
1% is very strong.
Anything about it.
And he says that is a response to the groundswell of the call on him to lead the party.
Let me use their own party. I remember Nana Akumia, he's not here. But I also remember that Nana Akumia, when he was going to resign or leave, not to contest again, there were a groundswell of people who came to him to say, Nana, come back. But he refused. So I'm saying that you must accept my, my logic.
Yeah.
That
nobody
before you even say that people are calling you to come and stand, you must have wanted. That's why you are even discussing it. If not, you throw it somewhere. Yeah. So I think that, look, he has come.
He sought the face of God. That was the most important thing.
We all seek the face of God. But you see, this God we are talking about is a God who will speak to you in ways that you will understand. I'm sure that when he went and then had his consultation, that kind of message that he wanted by God was given to him, which is that he should come and stand. So I think that there's nothing new about it. Indeed, if Nana did not want to stand, I can tell you, the day that the election petition was over, he would have announced that day his resignation from active politics. So I don't begrudge him. I just hope that he will have the strength to go around to do the campaign and then present himself to the people of this country.
I see. Addo Malik.
Well, I've just a little bit of information. When is the primaries, presidential primaries?
It will be set by the new executives that are coming, but it should be before the end of this year.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. Well, this is a personal thing. I haven't had a chance to interact with Nana since he came. I haven't had a chance. But, you know, I always had a problem with the series of premature endorsements that some party stalwarts and leaders were doing. I always had a problem with it in principle. I thought he didn't need it. It was just superfluous and sometimes had a negative effect. And so if the calendar for the party presidential primaries is a bit far off, I would advise that there is no need for a declaration of what he's going to do on 20th of March. He doesn't need any head start. If it comes to the competition, he doesn't really need any head start at all.
Can I raise a practical problem?
Yes, tell me.
The practical problem is that you told the party, even immediately after before he went abroad, people were urging him to stand. He was abroad. People are getting in touch with him every day. He's back. Every day people are consulting. People are telling you what they want. You need to, and it's a practical issue. You need to say something.
Say something, not meaning, yes, no. I am a candidate, an aspirant for
you are not a candidate until...
Yeah, that's what's aspirant.
Yes, but I'm saying that, so you need to say something as to whether you are willing to run or not.
Well,
so that's...
But that's just a matter of personal, my view.
No, I get your point.
As I said, I haven't had the chance to interact with him. He left a message on my voicemail. I haven't actually responded. But that is my view. Because if the calendar is far away, then announcing it, you can imagine the momentum that his announcement, if it's in the affirmative, would unleash. And when is the National Executive primaries elections? I think somewhere in April. It can, it will become the main thing relative to the party's own programs and consciousness and mobilization and everything. It could, quote unquote, be disruptive of the party calendar for executive.
Is that not why he's sending a warning ahead of time that no one should use his name or his photograph?
Yeah, but that was good. I was coming to all those things. Those things, but they should even have been made earlier. Those statements should have been made earlier. It could still have been made while he was outside, because some of the leaders were being opportunistic. Some were outrightly and nakedly opportunistic in going out there to use his name the way it was used.
Is there a candidate who is going out there and not mentioning his name?
Yeah, but that's why I said that should have been done.
I'm saying, you can't limit it to the incumbents. I'm telling you for a fact. Every candidate going out there is making reference to
it. Was opportunistic, bottom line. Was unprincipled.
Yeah.
Was unfair.
But I'm saying it's happening across
was unjust. And I thought an earlier admonition may have been in order, or whatever it is. It's never too late in politics. So for me, that's my caution. But as I say, perhaps when one interacts with him, he may be able to convince me as to why a March 20th declaration in the affirmative may be desirable. But candidly, I would have expected that in his particular case, he needs no time and space to campaign to win the primaries if he decides to go.
May I also add that he has gone through this debate in terms of the fact that he's gone through all
interventions as far as Kuku's presentation is concerned. Now, I don't know what you think. If you feel that it is not good enough for internal democracy in the manner in which things are being done now, when there are other people who are clearly interested in the flag bearership.
Well, there are some views
who have expressed that they will run.
They have.
A lot of people have already expressed that
they need time and space.
There are some views out there that people who want to contest Addo are being harassed, so to speak, or intimidated, into giving up their, or not expressing it. But there is also, evidence out there that the rank and file of the members of the party, support Nana very strongly.
They do it publicly without any equivocation.
Exactly. So, in this particular context, where he's being, shall I say, ambivalent about it, he is not saying I will go and he's not saying I will not go. That creates a bit of confusion within the party. And I am sure it is that confusion which he may want to clarify without necessarily saying that others should not contest me. Because, his declaration one way or the other can give clarity to the situation and people can make choices whichever way they want to. So, looked at from that perspective, I don't see anything wrong if he comes out to say that, well, this is my position on it.
Analyzing from where you say there are those who believe, and I think that's a very minority view though, and maybe coming from the opposition side, those who are opposed to the party, that, he should give up at this point.
Why should he give up? He is the one supposed to decide.
But it appears that now the applause is loudest and is the best time.
For him to strike?
To give in, as say it's that ambition is over.
Oh, let's say that if I'm wrong, I mean, I can be corrected, but he has never believed that he ought not to have been the president now, because he has always believed that, of course, legally, he has not been declared the winner, but he thinks that if certain things were done properly, quote unquote, he should have been the winner.
In the last elections, yeah.
In the last 2 elections, which he lost. So he still has that confidence.
More than last election. I don't think he didn't contest the previous.
Okay, thank you.
So,
so I mean, there is still that hope in him that, look, there is still a chance to test and to prove my point. So that may be what is driving him, I mean, into this election.
There are those who say that President Mohammed's announcement of the free senior high school has dealt such a hefty blow to his chances.
How? Because I don't see how that is. Because if you look at his message in 2008 and then the message in 2012, I don't know if there have not been changes, because there will always be something that, I mean, you can identify and then hold on to, I mean, as your flagship point in a particular election.
But the one thing that he held on to in 2008 and in 2012 is now being taken away from him, so to speak.
He should be happy that the vision that he had for the country is now...
He says he is, but we're talking about politics, looking for votes.
Well, I think that he can still make a point. If you listen to his comments, I mean, I read it from the press, and I hope that was what he said, that at least there is now consensus on the issue. And in one instance, he also said it is good. Now, it is not a partisan comment. I mean, if you look at it as it is still possible, if he wants to hold on to it, to make a point out of it. But I don't know how exactly he will do that. I mean, if he makes a point, for example, that, well, my opponent on the other side discredited the point, and now they are adopting it, it means that there is something good in it, and that if he's given a chance, he can even do better, being a quote-unquote the originator of it. Of course, but I know the other group will not believe.
Gabi, what is going to be his trump card, for example, if he did announce that he was going to contest? He said that Ghana needs a leadership that thinks of the next generation and not the next elections. What is he thinking about the next generation?
I think really, he's been consistent in terms of the need to build the human resource base of the country. He's been very consistent on that, and he's been consistent also that we need to transform the economy.
And you are certain that he will have a message beyond free SHS?
I think first of all, his focus on education remains critical to our national development, and I can't see such a major shift. But in every election, you look at also the circumstances. It could be that also corruption will be a major issue now, so that will come on board, and I can't see him just jettisoning free SHS, because even what has been is being, I was going to say implemented, but what is being said to be about to be implemented. There are fundamental differences between what he said. Whilst he's been consistent, if you look at the 2008 manifesto, it says that guaranteed access for all children of school-going age to free quality education at the basic school level. This will be extended to cover senior high school education as well. This is from 2008, free quality education. He brought that back in 2012. It resonated far beyond what he did in 2008. In 2016, looking at what the NDC manifesto said, that they were going to limit free secondary education to the community's secondary education they were building. If you look at their 2012 manifesto.
No.
Oh, I can read it to you, please. Let me read it to you.
No.
I will read it to you.
Read it.
It says, provide capitation grant. Now, first of all, construct 200 new community day senior high schools across the country with emphasis on districts where there are no such schools. 2, provide capitation grant to all students in the new community day senior high schools to be built by government. So the NDC itself...
Capitation grant is different from free
please, I'm coming. This is what is
so
in your manifesto.
No,
in terms of where you were going to give grants, as we know at the basic level, okay? And you were limiting that to just the community, it's even discrimination, to just the ones that you were going to build.
No.
So what you are saying now
It's nowhere consistent with what you put in the 24
He says that's your interpretation.
You are
my-
mutilating it. That's a mutilation of what the
So why don't you demutilate it and tell us what the interpretation of this?
Capitation grant.
Okay.
Capitation
But
grant
they were not
is
mentioned
different from free SHS.
Okay, let's not get into
In
that.
fact, last week we
Let's
did
not
that
get
here.
into that.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I
We
think
did-
you
we
handled
did that
it.
here.
And at the same time,
Yes.
they are taking away subsidies for utilities prices, for utilities at the schools.
Mm.
You have taken that away, and you are telling us that you are giving them free SHS. So
I
the
see.
students themselves will end up paying it, whether it's a day or boarding. And that's already there. Utility price for schools were being absorbed by government.
Has
Now
that
you are
been
saying that
implemented?
schools should pay for it themselves.
Have you checked your facts?
He's asking
to
if
know
that
what
has been implemented.
Has that been implemented?
No, but that's the policy.
Check your facts.
That's your policy.
There's one
Check
thing.
it.
There's one thing I wanted to ask
That's your
Godwin.
policy.
Godwin, and let me tell you this: a very senior, member of this republic, felt, and that's a private discussion, felt that when Nana arrived in a very, serious, beautiful democracy, he would have, gone to see the president. They would have had, they would have sat around some tea and had some discussion, rather than the focus being visiting and seeing a chief.
Well, sometimes people see things differently. There would have been nothing wrong with that. But you also, and I'm not sure Nana would have jettisoned that idea if it had, crossed his mind. But you also need to understand the political strategy in it, because he knows that this is the stronghold of the party, and he needs to make a case of his popularity. So, in the very early stages of his return, he should want to see that. He may not have that much of it in Accra or maybe in some other region, but in Kumasi at least he's very sure that he can have it. But he can also go to Kumasi to make that point without necessarily without having to see the Asante Hime. So, normally there will be a number of points on the table, but the one that the person thinks is best is what he takes. So I think that's a good thing, but it might not have crossed his mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I wanted to get Kokubako's, quick point on that. But before that, let's go to the phone lines and speak to the Honorable Ayikwe Otu, a former Attorney General and Minister for Justice, and he presently, you may know, is the man who is in charge of the NPP's constitutional affairs. Right, Honorable Ayikwe Otu, good morning and welcome to Newsfile.
Good morning.
Right. You've been part of the committee that's dealt with the allegations against, is it Afoko and Jake?
Yeah, Afoko.
Right. The question has come up that there's a certain document from Interpol, from the UK, and sent to their Ghanaian counterpart, clearing him. And yet your statement that you issued announcing to the public that he's been cleared of any such wrongdoing as was leveled against him did not include this. Is it a case that this document has not yet reached you?
I do not think that we had said that he had not been cleared. I think what we said was that the oral reportage is that Afoko is not known to the police.
Right.
But we do not have a written report because according to the director of Interpol, he has no authority to sign any such letter. In fact, he directed us to present a letter to the Director General of CID Police Headquarters, and that we should only give him a copy. So if at the end of the day the report comes, it is only the Director General of CID who can sign the report or our copy and give it to us. That has not been done. But in order not to delay the process anymore, we told him that this is the verbal report we have and that is free or is cleared to go on. So why is it being suggested that we have the report and that maybe deliberately we shelved the report. We have not received it, and it's rather surprising.
Right, but Mr. Ekwetu, to be fair to the panelists here, Abdul Malik Kwekubakos especially, who brought out this document, he did say that his suspicion is that this document may not have reached your offices.
Oh, okay, okay. Let me put in that caveat, because it was somebody who drew my attention to it. I have not been listening, I have not been watching, I just put it on so I can see you clearly, you're green and all that. But I never listened.
Okay.
But somebody drew my attention to it. Now that's what he's saying. That is surprising to him that he has a copy and we are saying we don't have a copy.
Okay.
So I should call him. You know the reportage.
Can we clear this briefly? It has not come to you officially, but are you aware of the presence of this particular document, and why did you not include its content in your communique?
That is exactly the explanation I've given to you, that we were asked to route our complaint through the Director General CID Police Headquarters, and that they would in turn authorize Interpol to work on the matter. So when the report comes to Interpol, they have to send it to the Director General of the CID for him to issue a report, official report on the matter. That was not done. The Director of Interpol just called me on the phone and said he has received the report, which is negative. That same day, we decided to act on it, even when we had not seen this final report. So it is never true that this report has been sent to us. And we take a very serious exception to it. Because how come that the report which is yet to reach us is already in the public domain? All kinds of, inferences can be drawn, like you are saying. As if we have it and we are suppressing. Why? If we wanted to suppress it, then we could have as well told him that we did not receive the report at all, so the position remains the same. But we went out of our way and said, look, we trust the police. If this is what they have told us, let's go along with that information.
Right.
And then as a result, you are cleared.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. But briefly, in some 2 minutes, can you tell us, you have been Attorney General before, what would you like to be the approach to resolving the Albam-Bagbing bribery allegation against MPs?
Well, you see, it is said that whatever happens in Parliament is a closed book. We tried at a point to apply for an injunction in court to stop Parliament from going ahead with the creation of, new constituencies. What the Supreme Court said was that whatever happens in Parliament is a closed book, and that it is only after they finish dealing with those matters that perhaps if anybody thinks that they've gone against the Constitution, that you can bring an action. But you can't act on it whilst the matter is pending. So currently, if Parliament is going through its own rules in trying to find out what might have gone wrong, I do not think that if there's anything wrong with that. It is for them to use their own procedures, their standing orders to deal with the matter.
The suggestion is that will be self-serving.
Oh no, that is why they have the Privileges Committee. I mean, whatever you say which goes against Parliament.
They are going to be judges. They are going to be judges in their own case, a matter in which they have been accused.
That is the law,
Right.
That is the law. We have what we call the principle of necessity. If that is the only body that can sit on the matter, then I think that you've just got to give it to them to do it.
What do you say to Abraham Amalebe's suggestion that Parliament should make a report to the SHRAJ and then SHRAJ should take it on instead?
Well, SHRAJ has the mandate to investigate corrupt activities when it comes to public officers. That may be so, but Parliament is an organ. It's an organ of itself. It's a master of its own rules, and I think that they must be allowed to do what they want to do first, and then we can talk about it later. But it would be wrong for anybody to go prying into how Parliament does its work will be met with the same answer that whatever takes place in Parliament
is a closed book.
Yeah, I mean, the judges
Right.
and the rest,
Okay.
don't have anything to do with it.
Thank you very much for your time, Ms. Aikotu. Yep.
Yes, I think that there was a distortion that was
reported to him because he was not listening or watching.
And if you recall, Gabi, in making his submission, virtually indicated that the party hadn't received any such report. He was being fair with what he knew. But if you go to Peace FM online, there is this story that is headed, Interpol has not cleared Paul Afoko, NPP vetting committee. Now it's attributed to my own good friend Martin Ajay Sankosa, who is secretary to the National Vetting Committee. And the quote is this: "What I do know is that in the name of the NPP, the vetting committee made a request to the Interpol. No matter the outcome of that information, certain response is expected from Interpol officially. Whether it is negative, it is positive, or even if it will not be granted, some correspondence must come from Interpol. As I speak to you, that has not happened," he told Adakabre Frimpong Manso. Okay, so officially, the impression that went out there was that the clearance was not based on any report from Interpol.
Which appears to contradict what the chairman...
Yes, as I said, because at least they had some verbal communication.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the party must come... I mean, we take this as they've cleared it, but really they must come up with a statement to clear
but Mr. Aikotu should not be bothered by a journalist intercepting a document before he gets
particularly Abdul Malik Kubaku Jr.
You shouldn't be worried
his
at all.
expertise. And he's got a tiger eye behind him as well. And just a minute, that question that Godwin was addressing, I was asking that would it have been, proper, or it's not even late, that the handlers of Nanado would have arranged that after having been away for 6 months, he comes back to the country. This is the opposition leader. In certain democracies, his first port of call would have been the presidency.
No, inappropriate. Within the context of the MPP's own constitution and election calendar, is Nanado the leader of the party? No. He was a former flag bearer who went to court, petitioned the court, lost the case, showed dignity, and accepted it, agreed. They accepted, but did not agree, and then exited for a while.
But his place in the scheme of things in
if the
this
president
country
were to extend an invitation to him for whatever purposes, yes, he could decide to honor the invitation. But he on his own, I mean, he's just a Ghanaian politician, high profile. No. He's a high profile.
When he goes out of this country, he carries a bigger, heart.
I am not sure. People would even accuse him of being arrogant and trying to usurp the authority of the state. Who is he? He's a high profile politician, two-time flag bearer who lost the elections. It's my favorite anyway. Nobody should make a mistake when it comes to making a choice. But I don't think that it would have been appropriate for the party to decide that you've come back, let's strike a meeting with the president. If the president is minded to call Akufo-Addo for a meeting, yes, I think that's fair.
Interesting thoughts there. Now, thank you very much for your messages. Bonti Benjamin sends this one from Kumasi. He says, we only pray that God should touch Asumgwe Papa. Oh, is that the new name? Asumgwe Papa Akufo-Addo's heart to contest in the 2016 elections in order to save Ghana from the sinking ship. Ghanaians need Akufo-Addo's leadership now. Sofo Yamusa in Kumbungu writes, I think Paul Afoko will be a good chairman for NPP in 2016, with Nanado possibly coming forward for the 3rd consecutive time. We need to blend the leadership of the party with different perceived camps. Ghanaians will not forgive NPP if they don't win power in 2016. Okay, this one you don't name yourself, but you say that Nanado is playing with political jingoism. Mahama will retire him with an ex gratia to go and rest. Mohammed Abbas Haruna, right? I think the NPP is doing more harm than good to itself. I believe Nana has done his bit to the Dankwa Buzia tradition. There are a number of potential candidates within the NPP who can give one-touch competition to President Mahama, tough competition to President Mahama of the NDC than trying to impose or put out an image that Nana has been the fulcrum within the NPP. Thank you very much for all those your messages. Keep them coming. 1422 is the text line. You can post them on our Facebook wall or send them to newsfile@myjoyonline.com. The show, as always, is brought to you by Star Assurance. That is your CIMG Insurance Company of the year 2012, and they are your solid partner. Errata Motors, that is where you find the best vehicles for the best prices. And Lipton Tea, inspiration flowing from nature. Gabi gets served the way he wants it, and he sips it like nobody's business. We'll be right back after this break.